Hello and welcome to this video on, what were we going to name it?
Twizzling tongue twisters.
No one's going to watch it if we call it that. My name's Mike, this is my sister
Rebecca.
I started teaching Arabic on YouTube about 5 years ago, and most of my audience now speaks
English. Arabic.
Most of my audience now speaks
Arabic
as the first language. What is a tongue twister, I hear you ask? Well, for example, a tongue twister is something like...
Whether the weather be fine or whether the weather be not. Well, whether the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not.
Did you get that? Okay, I'm going to try and now say this, okay? Say it again, but in bits.
Okay, so the first section. Whether the weather be fine.
Whether the weather be fine.
Or whether the weather be not.
Or whether the weather be not, brackets fine.
We'll weather the weather, whatever the weather.
We will weather the weather, as in we will weather it.
Yeah, like we will stand through it.
We will stand through it. We will survive.
Yeah.
We will weather the weather.
Whatever the weather.
Whatever the weather.
Whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not. Whether the weather be fine or whether the weather be not, we'll weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not.
There we go.
That was... Come on, give me a harder one.
Okay.
Did you get it? If you did, write it in the comments.
And don't forget the two different types of weather. The weather as in rain and the weather as in...
W-H-E-T-H, like I don't know whether or not I'll go out.
Yeah.
This is a good word actually. Weather looks like this. Weather, I don't know whether or not I'll go out. I don't know whether or not we will fly to Saudi together. I don't know whether or not Rebecca will visit the Middle East with me in the summer. I don't know whether or not we'll go on a tour of Oman. I don't know whether or not instead we'll go to Saudi Arabia or whether we'll go back to Kuwait.
Who knows?
I don't know whether we'll go here or there. I think you got the idea about the word weather. Whether the weather be fine or whether the weather be not, we'll weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Now,
Good.
I did that pretty well, but can you just confirm I'd never heard that before?
You've never heard that before.
Okay. Next one.
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper coffee... I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copy... This is a little bit tricky.
Is this what you do for a living?
No. Well, this is part of my training as what I do for a living. So it's okay that I'm not perfect first time. This one is more difficult. Okay, ready? I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
I want a proper cup of coffee in... This is harder, isn't it?
Much harder.
We've stepped up the game.
Level.
The last one was like level 1. This is like level 4.
Yeah.
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
Yeah.
But I did that slowly, didn't I? So...
But it's fine to start slower.
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. What's copper?
Copper is a really nice...
Why don't you ask the
material.
science teacher?
What's copper?
Where's copper is an element with the chemical symbol Cu, and it's used in electrical cable, electrical wiring.
A-level chemistry.
We're talking about science. So copper is basically a metal, right? It's an orange metal.
Yeah.
It's like what the Statue of Liberty is made of. Sah. And when it reacts with oxygen, you get copper oxide, which is green. Sah. So what you're saying is, I want, يعني بدي أبي أريد.
What do I say? How do I say I want?
I want like أبي.
Ebby.
We're not going to translate this because this is mostly for English learners. So tongue twisters, English learners. I want a proper cup. Okay, I want a proper cup. This is a mug, but in America you'd say cup of coffee. I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper coffee. Give up.
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
How many times have you seen a coffee pot made of copper?
Maybe once or twice. It's a bit posh, I think,
maybe
to have
once
that.
or twice. Perhaps when I was having high tea up in Hyde Park.
Yes, I mean, I don't have tea, I have high tea.
Do you do lunch? Should we do lunch?
I take tea and I do lunch.
Okay, so do we need to do any more on that? I'd like a proper cup of coffee in a proper
You got to get this one more time.
Okay.
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. Boom! That was...
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper coffee pot. I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
Wait, was that
Why did I say it like I was like had some kind of mouth problem.
I've got one more. Do you want to hear one more?
Go on. No, wait, not yet. We've got one more of this. Okay. I would like a proper cup of coffee and a proper pot.
What you want to do is when you get to the second half of it, so you want to split it up, so you go, I want a proper cup of coffee and then in a proper coffee pot.
You hesitate, yeah, okay.
But you need to think, after proper,
bits.
you've got to keep with the P sound, so proper copper. You've
Proper
got to keep with the P sound. I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee cup.
Proper copper. That's the bit I'm missing.
There you go.
I want a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
Yes!
That's how good teaching you are.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, it clicked and I did it.
There we go.
Amazing, nailed it. Okay.
Final one.
Third and final. What have you got for us, Rebecca?
She sells seashells on the seashore. Did I even say that right?
She sells seashells on the seashore.
Yeah.
Well, then we're going to have four because I wanted to do Peter Piper, pickle peppers, a peck of pickle.
Or you could do how much would a wood chop wood chop good chop wood.
Let's do the seashells.
Okay.
She sells seashell. What's a seashell? A shell from the sea, right?
Yeah. A seashell.
What's a seashell?
Like a shell you find in the water.
Yeah, a shell that you'd find from the water. Like, for example, Bahrain, they used to find a lot of these seashells. Technically, they were like pearls, but like those very colourful seashells. And who sells seashells? She sells seashells on the seashore. Or by the seashore. Is it by or on?
I say on.
She sells seashells on the seashore.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it?
Not on the
Write
seesaw.
it in the comments if you got it right. Very simple. She sells seashells on the seashore.
Not on the seesaw. Not on the seesaw. On the seashore.
So let me get this right. There's this woman. She sat on a seesaw selling seashells that she found by the seashore.
Yeah, this could be the story behind it.
You know what? Cancel the last one. The new tongue twister is she was sat on the seesaw selling seashells that she. That doesn't really roll off the tongue, is it? It's a bit long. Cancel that.
I think she sells seashells on the seashore is better.
She sells seashells on the seashore that she found at the seesaw. Okay, we'll just add that on. Okay, number 4 is
our fourth tongue twister of the day. We have.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? You wondered why this video was 8 minutes long and it's only 4 tongue twisters? That's why. This is going to be a long one.
I thought it was a piece of pickled pepper that he picked.
No, a peck of pickled peppers.
Peace.
Does that make any sense?
Who votes peace? I vote peace.
I love peace, generally as a rule, but I don't.
In the tongue twister.
Okay, now you do it your way.
Peter Piper picked a piece of pickled pepper. And then what's the other half?
A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked.
I don't really know this one very well.
Okay, let me teach it to you then. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper.
A peck.
A peck.
Yeah, like a.
That's like birds do.
I think so, yeah.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper.
A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked.
A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked.
If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper.
If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper.
Where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked?
Where's the peck of pepper Peter Piper
Where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked?
Where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked?
Pretty good, yeah. So I mean, the story is he pecks a pickled pepper and then he doesn't know what happened to it. So Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper.
Peter Piper pecked a piece of pickled pepper.
A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked.
A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked.
If Peter Piper did really pick this peck of pickled pepper.
If Peter Piper did really pick this piece of pickled pepper.
Then where is this piece of pickled pepper that Peter Piper had picked?
Then where is this piece of pepper Peter Piper picked?
That'll do, pig. That'll do, donkey.
That'll do, donkey.
Thanks for watching this video. And yes, you can like and subscribe. We have done other videos together, mostly when I'm teaching you Arabic. And happy days. Leave us a comment, click like, and you can see loads more videos there and there. When I say loads, I mean 2. See you again soon. Hope to see you again soon. Say ma'a salama.
Ma'a salama.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And then go up there. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Who's Sally?
Sally sells seashells.